Oh, 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 oh. Edges lay, hoop swing, lip gloss and a laugh. I walking like Sunday, but I've been through some wrath. They see soft, see sweet, figure I'm easy to bend. They don't see me in the mirror trying to hold my own head. Don't let my smile fool you. I've been breaking in the
Oh, 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 O'Reilly's. Can y'all hear me? Oh, there you go. Oh, oh, O'Reilly. Oh, it's the wrong one. Hold on. Oh, oh, oh. There it goes. Good evening, folks. Welcome. Oh, damn shit. Uh, hold on. Yeah, welcome to yet another episode of the Can We Be Frank show. This is Monday night Raw with the City of Alexandria. We have a ton of oh damn, it's still on. Hold on, let me see if I cut this thing off. Oh, okay. I see them they done turned StreamYard damn into an app. Hold on. Look at that. I can play it with the phone off and everything. Huh. Yeah, so yeah, we're gonna talk about the business that we always talk about, folks. As soon as we get some people in here, hold on. I think Miss Linda was in here. Hold on. Yep. Yeah, let's hit this here. Let me see if I can get this thing shared out. All right. There we go. All right, hold on. Uno momento, folks. Nope. Yep. Nope. 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 Yep. Okay, hold on. Send those. And then we're gonna double back and we're gonna send that. And then we're gonna double back and send it to yeah, I don't see anywhere else to send it. Yeah, I don't see any others. I don't see any others today. Yeah, man, listen. A lot of crazy stuff going on this morning. I mean today. I promise you I was not prepared to get to the part of the news where anything happening with Pollock law enforcement would be headlined. But your Pollock police chief was arrested. Now, I do want to talk about. Uh, okay, hold on. Let me show y'all a little something, and I'm gonna compare. And I always can use myself as an example. Um, Hold on. I use myself as an example, right? I want to go directly to this one right here. Let me share this to you guys. Uh, now, now, I want y'all to pay attention, right? First, I want y'all to like and share too. That too. Hold on. I got to do the same thing. But yeah, man. Last week was a phenomenal week for the Can We Be Frank show. We uh, we did it an extreme amount of numbers, uh, and I mean, we did very, 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 very well. Had a lot of participation, had a lot of guests, had a lot of people come through. But the one thing that we didn't talk about was that the fact that the Attorney General for the state of Louisiana and the police chief, Chris Paul, not the black guy, the basketball player. We're talking about Chris Paul, the police chief. Uh, you know, didn't know he was under investigation. Didn't even know he was under investigation. And so when you get to digging around in the story, right, you'll end up finding out what happened.
Developing here at 6, Pollock's police chief briefly found himself inside none other than a jail cell, arrested on charges of malfeasance and falsifying public records. Rob LaPerle joins me now. Rob, I heard you spoke with the chief.
Yeah, that's right, Jay. Now, I had a very brief phone call with him on Friday to gauge his thoughts on the state's investigation into him. And at that time, he refused to really tell me anything, saying he was going to, and I quote, let it happen. Now, what he was referring to was his sudden flip to the other side of the law. Now, Chief Chris Paul is being accused by state investigators of instructing Pollock officers to patrol lands controlled by FCC Pollock. Now, for clarification, that's a federal prison maintained by federal officers. The Louisiana Bureau of Investigation believes from 2022 to 2025, now that's 3 years, Paul's officers, under his orders, issued tickets and made arrests outside of their jurisdiction. Now, Paul was booked by the Grant Parish Sheriff's Office and was released without a bond. And none other than Attorney General Liz Muriel provided this statement today, quote, no one is above the law, especially those sworn to uphold it. Now, in that phone call that I had with the chief, he told me he would happily answer our questions after he had let it happen, in his words, and was arrested. And I tried to call him just a couple minutes ago, but he didn't pick up. However, I've also been in contact with the Grant Parish Sheriff's Office, more details on that arrest, and I just missed a phone call from him for this newscast. So I'm going to give him a call back right afterwards. For right now, that's all we have right now, but I'll continue to follow it as we move forward.
Yeah, you got to let me know what he says when you call him back. I'm so curious.
Definitely. I'll be back soon, I promise you.
All right, thank you, Rob.
Thanks, Jay. Now, an activist traveled to...
All right, now, switch back to this. All right, so, see, I won't put myself in this situation, right? So, I had traffic tickets, right? Traffic tickets, right? I had to spend the entire day in jail. He literally broke the law, not as per somebody in the parish, but as per the state's attorney general, and got out with a signature. I had to pay money to get out. And got out with a signature on his own recognizances after breaking the law for 3 years. I'm not saying this is a racist place. I'm not. I'm just saying they do racist shit. That's it. That's all. That's all I'm trying to get. Listen, I don't want nobody to think that I think that racism is prevalent everywhere. But wherever it's prevalent, I have to point it out. I have to warn others. I mean, or else it's just going to be a trap. So if and not to mention that he was patrolling a federal grounds. He had his people patrolling federal grounds. He was using taxpayers' dollars. He was doubling up. And that seems to be the theme. They like to double up. Like how Jock told y'all that Project Restore was a grant and not a loan, and then charged you for it, even though he had the money to give to do what he needed to do in the first place. He turned it into a loan in front of your face, like prestidigitation. He was a magic trick, right? And he ended up getting double. He double dipped. He took the money for your bill out of some other money, and then he charged you anyway for that bill. So say, for instance, and I just wanted to say, for instance, you were $1,000 behind on your light bill. This is Project Restore. I want to come through with Project. Hold on, I got to do it correctly. I don't want to onomatopoeia. You know what I mean? Hold on. Let me get it right. And the reason I'm bringing these things up is because my good friend, Miss Agnes Francisco, there was something when we were in the good old days. I'm talking about season 8 or 9 of the Can We Be Frank show, maybe even 10. During that time, we were on these people's asses, and I'm not gonna lie, she was the main one. Then if you wonder why I do it and how I do it the way I do it, is because of her. But she was on them people's ass, and she said, "Don't y'all ever in your life fall for the banana in the tailpipe." And that's what this show should have been named, because this election season that's coming up, there's going to be people that's going to come out with bundles of bananas. And I swear they're going to try to put bananas in your tailpipe. And you can't let them do it. You can't let them stick that banana paws in the tailpipe. You can't. You can't. You got to be dedicated to being salient and being clear on what your intentions are and who you and how you intend to handle your vote, and who you intend to trust your vote, and trust your vote who you intend to trust with your vote. That's what I wanted to say. So let me go. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull this shit up. A lot of this shit I should have on I should have it on. Listen, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I have brain fog like a mug sometimes. I don't know where it came from. It's just random. I'll be like, boop, 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 boop. Hold on. Here we go. So now we're talking about Project Restore. This is banana in the tailpipe stuff, right? Banana in the tailpipe stuff. We're still going to go down this memory lane. Also, we'll get to that when we get to that. Hold on. All right. Now, let me break down to what you're seeing, right? So, a year prior to this, before Jock was ever in office, Jock claims to have developed Project Restore. How did Jock know that the city was going to need something like Project Restore a year in advance? I have no clue. And I'm not saying he was involved, but this was definitely Jock's doing, right? And Jock picked the simplest council member he could find. The simplest one. And he needed a black one because Project Restore was going to be targeted towards the black community. And you say, why would you say that? Well, some of the prerequisites and the parameters by which Project Restore was operating, right? It was only held at community centers. You had 3 days to sign up, 5 days to sign up, right? You had 5 days to sign up. 2 of those days got canceled. But the 3 that were available, they were at the Bolton Community Center and the other community centers. And the reason I'm pointing that out is because there are no community centers, I don't believe, in District 4 or 5. So it wasn't targeted for them. It wasn't designed for them to participate in. But I tell you this, not only was Jock Roy participating in this, right, because he had to have someone assist him in addressing the utilities and this whole facade of Project Restore, right? So who did he go get? He had Michael Marcotte, the director of utilities, the guy that quit. The guy that quit, right? And they had an issue. They had a problem. Because Jock was only going to fleece the community. He was only going to fleece the black folks. Well, Marcotte had his designs on also including the businesses, right? Because Marcotte was like, why just stop at black people? Let's get some of these businesses too and help them, quote unquote, right? And therein lies the problem. And here's where we pick it up at, right? Because Reddix was brought on board, just like Villard gets brought on board to carry Jock's water or carry Jock's jockstrap. And this is where we're at now. So the thing is, you can tell. She asked him the question, why the fuck is he looking at Reddix? Reddix doesn't have the answer to that. Reddix couldn't answer a multiple choice test if all the answers were the same. He would fail that. He would figure out a way to fuck that up too. Right? So why is Jock looking to Reddix? And what is this? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? You guys have been ripped off. And that's what we need to bring attention to. All of the times that you guys got done wrong. That way we can identify who did it and what was done. And in some situations, there may even be a remedy for it. Right? There may be some legal means that you can, get your lick back. You feel me? So that's what I want to present to the city of Alexandria, the citizens of Alexandria. You need to start looking at different ways that you've been wronged. These political moves aren't just political moves that only affect politics. These political moves affect you guys and your lives personally. So, right. Now he said the breach, right? I need to know. Did anybody else has anybody else heard anything else about this breach? Mr. Mayor, have you heard any updates about this breach? Has anybody heard any updates about this breach that happened 16 years ago? Well, I'm exaggerating. Right? No, probably not. You know why? Because I feel like it didn't happen. Because at the same time of the breach, he was developing Project Restore. These things are all happening in a confluence, like he says. Right? They're all happening at the same time. So while the breach is happening, simultaneously, Jock is penning the Restore bill. They're not separate. Right? And he wants to separate those two things. But the fact that he's mentioning the breach while talking about Project Restore tells you everything you need to know. So, when it comes to not getting the bill out, all these things that he's saying that happened, right? They were under the purview of the Director of Utilities, right? So if these things weren't being done, it was literally on purpose. If they weren't sending out meter readers, that was done literally on purpose. And it came as a directive from the Director of the Utilities, who was at that time Michael Marcotte. So what I'm posing to you this evening is that he and Michael Marcotte conducted all this together. This symphony of fucking agony to the community, to these ratepayers, that, as he calls y'all, they were the conductors of the symphony of madness. Because if you go all the way back to the beginning, who put Marcotte as a Director of Utilities? Jock Roy. And even though he wasn't in office at the time, he still had access. He had all access, is what he had. When Jock left office and gave Jeff Hall that seat, when he handed the seat over to Jeff Hall, right? Because that election wasn't even a real election. You guys don't even realize that. But that wasn't a real election. You saw a bunch of play acting. Right? And Jock won't tell you the reason why he won't tell you the reason why he didn't run. I don't think he'll ever admit that. And that was because he knew that he didn't have control over those 4 black councilmen the way he has control over Liz Felter and Jim Bullard and Chuck Fowler and Gary Johnson. He knew he didn't have that influence over Mr. Fuller, Mr. Porter, Mr. Larverdane, and Mr. Green. He knew he didn't have that influence. And he knew for a fact that it was going to be difficult to get that bullshit by. Right? So he didn't want to fight with them. So he just gracefully bowed out for 4 years. And he let Jeff Hall, the black guy, deal with the black people. It's the same thing he does with Van Dyke. It's the same thing he does with Reddix. It's his pattern. It's what he does. It's just what he does. He doesn't want to directly deal with black folks, so he always has a buffer. We just saw it on the last city council meeting, right? So when Miss Cynthia and Gary Johnson and all them wanted to talk about some things that were in the budget, or not even, it was about the Gator thing, right? And guess what he did? He threw C. Ray Lewis. He said, "I don't want to talk. I don't know what I would do there, but I could send a representative. I could send another black guy to talk to the black people." That's what he does. And that's why Mr. Porter tells us he knows how to spot him. He knows how to spot him. And he spotted C. Ray Lewis. Curtis. He spotted Curtis. And he just knew that Curtis was going to be a loyal servant. Y'all don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. This is just one example of many examples of him playing in y'all face. Right? That's why they don't like what we're saying, simply because we're pointing out the inconsistencies in their logic, right? So if your logic was about helping the people, then why do you have to go through all this? He gets a lot of calls because this is him skimming the top and talking. He's asking Reddix, talk to the black folks, man. Say something to the black folks. Help me out here, man. Help me out here, man. And I know Reddix, so you probably get a lot of calls about it because you're the council person over a predominantly black community. And all this was happening right in our faces, right? And we weren't reading the room properly. I think we were, right? But we weren't that liked back then. We weren't as liked as we are now. But we was pointing out the obvious. We could see it. We wanted everybody else to see it. But let's continue. What did he say? Let's break down what he said. Absolutely nothing. I just want to say help us on the way. Well, help us here. It's right around the corner. And it's no Valium. Oh, I've been playing it with no Valium. That sucks. I wonder if the other one didn't have no Valium either. Hold on. Stop sharing. Hold on. All right, let's see. All right. Hold on. I'm going to run it all the way up to this part. And just keep in mind everything I just said.
Reddix Washington, join us today for a little chat. Guys, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Of course. So, tell us what y'all are working on over at the City of Alexandria for the holiday season, for 2023.
Well, we are in the middle of this 100-day plan that is, a lot to get going on, but there are some things even within it. We kind of have it broken down in 30-day increments. Reddix has been championing one part of it that is near and dear to a lot of people, and that is working on some of these problems with utilities. And that is very pronounced, especially this time of year.
Okay, well, so when you say problems with utilities, what do y'all mean?
Well, there was a situation where, due to a confluence of lots of things, I would say, but there was from meter reading to a breach of the city's cybersecurity to many other things, not getting the bills out, et cetera. The city is faced with a whole bunch of people who have long cycle bills. So we're talking 100+ days. People on fixed income and others just can't handle that. And Rex probably gets a lot of calls, as do I, about that.
Yeah, and so the biggest thing I've been telling people is help is on the way. I guess now we can say help is right around the corner. And so we're just moving forward to handle one of those things and within the new mayor's 100-day plan.
Now, is there a plan in place, or are y'all still working on that plan?
There's a plan in place, in fact.
He's telling you there's a plan in place. I had it before I got elected. I knew we would need this. I knew we would need it. Right? The only person that would know something that detailed, right, is somebody that was in on it. To me, that's just how I feel. The only way you can know that much about something is if you're in on it. How did you know the condition of the utilities a year out? How did you get access to the information? You know what? You know who else had access to that information? The people that did the data breach. Ooh. Oh. Damn. Right? Right? I'm just saying things that make sense to me. Maybe. Right? If you knew the conditions of the utilities a year in advance, around the same time that they were getting breached, you and the data breachers had the same information. And I'm not saying they're one and the same. I'm just saying it's weird. It's weird. At the very least, you have to say that's weird. You have to. And if you don't say it's weird, it's because you're probably, a supporter of ne'er-do-wellers.
In fact, we're going to go from here, Natalie, to a special meeting today and be adopting the rest of what's called Project Restore, RESTOR. And
here we go with the restore. That's your favorite part. All these goddamn named ass whatever. So here's the thing, right? He held a special council meeting for this. A special council meeting. And he only could have did that with the help of the council president, who at that time was Jim Bullard, I want to say. Jim Bullard was or it was Lee Rubin. That's what it was. It was Lee Rubin. Hold on.
That project is about getting help to people, getting bills separated from these longer cycled out bills to let people have a reset and get it straight. The city also needs to do this. We have to sort of audit, for lack of a better word, the way that this has occurred and just fix it. But
does anybody not realize that after Project Restore, after the scam, he then went to the state legislature and had a law passed where a FOIA request can't even get you information on those utilities. Not even a FOIA. He went all the way to, I think it was Mike Johnson or something. I don't know who it is, but it was the state rep. He went to the state rep, not of Alexandria. He bypassed Mr. Larverdane. He bypassed him. He didn't want to bring this thing to him. He brought it to the other side of town and had him carry it down there. And in that bill, it was saying that the city of Alexandria's utilities, the information about the city of Alexandria utilities, is no longer going to be able to be retrieved via FOIA requests. You won't be able to get that information ever. It's protected, quote unquote. So it seems like he ran this play and buried the bodies, right? And this is when he first got in office. This is what I'm trying to explain to y'all. This was his intention the whole time. He walked into office with Project Restore already played out. This was just him executing it.
What we want to make sure is that people are not panicked and worried about that, especially during the holiday and especially during this way more than a cold snap we're about to go through. So that's the other thing I'll be doing today is working on preparing the city with my team for what could be some significantly cold weather that we're not used to here.
Right. And just having a backup plan in place too,
Yes.
For what happens if it is kind of detrimental.
Yes.
Just that really, really cold weather coming through. Reddick, tell me, what are some of the things you've been hearing from your constituents about their complaints with the past or recently utility issues?
Well, we've had a breach, which was a situation that we went through.
You got to have a Project Restore, right, Shamir? So we had a breach and that thing happened and we got through that, right? Why is the breach directly related to Project Restore? I got to ask these questions because now at this point, both Jock and Reddick have mentioned the breach. If this was about a reset, they're both talking about a breach that you don't know the end result of. You're now talking about a data breach, right? Because according to that FOIA request, right, the information, any further information about the data breach is protected now. You'll never know what happened. He buried the body. He legally buried the body. I got to put my monocle back in. Sorry. He buried the body. He fixed it so you'll never find out what happened with that data breach. Right. And you guys never, I'm going to be honest with you. I like watching those First Amendment auditors, those people that watch the other people to make sure that they're respecting and honoring and recognizing and not violating people's First Amendment rights. I love watching those people, but my favorite part is when those people think they're so tough to get in them people's face and they pull out their pepper spray and they mace their stupid ass because you can't touch people's property. Right? That's my favorite part. I just wanted to mention that. But he is literally planning y'all faces and saying that you do not have access to this information about our public utilities. I tell you what, Jock, since you like listening so goddamn much, I will become an advocate for Project Restore posthumously because I know it's over. You've already ran the scam. If you tell me what happened with the data breach, what was the end result? What was it? Because I feel like it was an inside job. I feel like you had something to do with it. That's just my opinion. Right? And in my honest opinion, y'all been chasing the same $6 to $8 million around in that budget for years. And the fact that the ransom was $8 million, and then Jeff Hall comes directly to the council, holds a special city council meeting to tell the council that they needed to pay the ransom without going through anybody else, without following the proper protocol, without calling the federal government, because anytime a municipality is attacked through the cyber system, there's a whole protocol you're supposed to go through. None of that was followed. That's why I say Jeff Hall and Jock Roy are besties. All this, Jeff Hall did malfeasance enough. No, he didn't. He didn't. If he did, he'd be in jail. I think you set Jeff up. I think you gave Jeff the idea to run. Hey, man, why don't you take over for me while I'm gone? You know, you get a lot more done. We can get these utilities, blah, 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 blah. Right? That was that was already. And so the real options that you had during that election was only Jeff Hall, which he knew was going to win because he knew that Jeff literally all he had to do was be colored and black people were going to vote for him. But he had a backup plan. He had K. Miguels, right? Who's still with him to this day. Because if all the black people didn't vote for Jeff, then definitely all the white people showed up and voted for K. Miguels because the one thing they didn't want was Catherine Davidson. They all agreed to that. No, we don't want Catherine Davidson. She's just, you know, she's got that thing in it. They got that thing in it. You know, the backwoods shit that they do here. And we got duped. We got tricked. I got tricked. Because at that time, we were working with the Power Coalition and they were down here doing the Lord's work. Except for when we were supposed to get paid and Jack Hinton of Urban Cast kept our money. But that's a different story. I'm not even you got that, buddy. You got that. You can have it. I guess that's what he founded Urban Cast with. I guess that would make me part owner of Urban Cast as well. Huh. I'll look into that. But you know, the interesting thing is that yes, all the black people did step out and support Jeff Hall simply because he was black. Jeff Hall literally didn't have to say anything. And that's what he did most of the time. Didn't say shit. Not nothing important. Or he was saying what he was told to say. What he was told to say. And so at this point, you're probably wondering, you said, Tavares, why so far back? Why go so far back? It's 2023. It was literally 3 years ago. You guys remember this?
We went through COVID, so you know people were already playing catch up, and now it's been just a longer process of being able to catch up. And so we've been working hand in hand with them.
You know, the thing about COVID is, what is he talking about catch up? Is he running again? Jock is. That's why we're talking. We're having, Miss Jeannie, we're having a discussion. What up, Greg? We're having a discussion about what was done to you. Because black folks, our Achilles heel is our short memory. That's the thing that's going to get us up out of here for good, is the fact that we be forgetting what people done did to us and who done did it. Right? How do you think Roosevelt was able to get away with it for so long? Roosevelt Johnson was the shittiest council person. Besides what's the other, she ain't even on. What's that Charles Frederick Smith? The worst council person that was colored. Besides Reddix. I mean, there should be a Hall of Fame. There should be a Coon Councilman Hall of Fame. Those three names would definitely be in it. Oh, is Reddix? I don't know if Reddix is running. Listen, if he decides to, which he shouldn't, this is y'all notice. This is y'all notice. This is it right here.
On a way where it's not this survival mode that people are living in, but where we can get things back to normal. And you know, one of the things you're always going to hear from me is moving forward.
Moving forward means, yeah, just forget about what happened. You see, that's the promotion of that Jeff Hall. I don't know if Jeff, listen, if Jeff Hall don't want to get publicly embarrassed, I wouldn't run. If Reddix don't want to get publicly embarrassed, I wouldn't run. Because the things that are going to come out about Jock Roy during this election season is going to be nasty.
Are you predicting some stuff to come out, or what?
I'm predicting. I am telling you that there are things that the public does not know yet that has not been confirmed. But this, what we're talking about right now, Mr.
So
Porter.
are we talking on a personal matter, or we're talking about on a political
We're
matter?
talking political. It's never personal. It's always political.
Okay.
It's always
all right. So you do know if the money is right and they're offered by the right person, you do understand Reddix would get back in this race, right?
Do you? And I hope Reddix understands that would be to his own detriment. That would literally be to his own detriment. That would Reddix, if you want to get ruined like publicly, if you want your image publicly ruined, like way worse than what it is, run. By all means, run.
I think you're very much so out of line with that.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what I'm not out of line with. Hold on. Let me show you this. So when y'all were wondering, if y'all were wondering how the hell Johnny Downs got $17 million, it was Reddix now, right? This was coordinated. And Cynthia, she, and that's the reason why I'm just so surprised. Because Cynthia knows she voted for them to get that $17 million. And to have Jim Villard look at her in her face and say, well, how much is Tatum Park going to cost us? I think it's going to cost too much. I know she had to feel disrespected. I know she did. I would have. Because ain't no way in the hell you going to play in my face. Hold on. Let me get back to the business at hand. So today I discovered through our network of very wise people. I'm hopping around subjects now. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, wait, that was the wrong one. All right. Share this tab instead. All right. Hold on. You're a little bit loud in the background.
Okay, hold up. I'm sorry. Give me a second. Let me go back in here and go back on.
Oh. Did you guys know that they changed Dixie League to Diamond Youth? Yeah, that's right. They changed Dixie Youth Baseball to Diamond Youth Baseball. Right? Did anybody know that? That was great. That's great news. That's awesome news. Isn't that beautiful? How they did that? Formerly Dixie Youth Baseball of Alexandria. Anybody else know this? That's crazy. Now, here's something else you need to take note of. Diamond Youth Baseball of Alexandria, right? They're not an organization. They're a stadium, arena, and sports venue. They literally own what they're saying is they are Johnny Downs, and you got to go through them to get there. I never knew a private organization could own a public facility. And now you know why Jock is so high on Skip Fox. Now you know why Jock is parading around all his black friends. All the what now you know why Curtis is Jock's go-to. Now you gotta ask yourself, was Curtis always? Nah, I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that. Well, I don't, you know what I'm saying? What was he always like? Was that always his intention to, Yeah, we'll leave it alone. He's parading around his colored friends now. And we need to pay attention to that. Jock has surrounded himself with black people. And the funny thing is, if you go back and you do the math, right? Jock can't stand it when he has to interact with Jules. He gets cringy when he has to interact with Malcolm, right? The only people he approve of is Gary Johnson and Cynthia Perry, right? That are people of color, right? So what did he do? Cynthia Perry is the president, Gary Johnson is the vice president. Right? Even though the agreement was for them to rotate out, right? Y'all don't hear me. Curtis, what's that boy name? It's Curtis Ray Lewis. Curtis Ray, C. Ray Lewis. I call him Curtis. I'm not calling him no goddamn C. Ray. I'm gonna call him Curtis. His mama named him Curtis, and I'm gonna call that nigga Curtis. So Dixie League and Johnny Downs are one in the same. You could also say that Dixie League operates that public park. You can also say that Dixie League received that $17 million and not Johnny Downs. Yeah, you didn't think about that, huh? You didn't think about the money went through Dixie League, or it went through the same entity that paid out for the contractors. So you gotta think to yourself, I wonder if they were fucking funneling it off the top, if they were shaving dollars off the top. Hold on, we got more people in. Hey, how you doing?
Hello, I had a question.
I don't
So
answer
do you,
questions.
anywho, so do you think they changed? Well, I'm gonna ask, did they change the name because more black kids started playing?
So I went on a hunt today, right? I went on a hunt today. Share this tab instead. I went on a hunt today, and I wanted to find out more about this Diamond Youth Baseball of Alexandria, formerly Dixie League. And here's what I found out, right? So if you go to, I don't want to see that. If you go to the About Us section, right? And you there's the mission, right? And then you say meet our board. There's Taylor Goodwin, Chance Lashney, Garrett Paul, Shannon Deneen, and Jason Maupin, right? And then you go to the info section, and it says, DYS is built on the same core values that our program has been rooted in for nearly 70 years. Train up a child in the way they should go, and when they're old, he will not depart from it. Blah, blah, blah. The world may change, but we still feel that trying to train up our youngsters properly is important today. Now, what kind of training do you think they were giving the youngsters of Dixie League back in the 50s? Miss Kathy Powell said they changed the name because this show put a name on blast. I don't know. Maybe so. Who knows? Could be. Right? Doesn't that sound awfully Confederate-ish to you? We ain't gonna never give it up. Things might change, but we're gonna stay the same. Dixie. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. That's what it is. But all right, so I know I'm jumping around, and all these things are interconnected. That's why I'm trying to get you guys to see this is all having to do with your money. Your money. This is why you can't have nice things. It's not because you don't deserve them. It's because they already spent the money. You deserve it. It's just no money for it. You heard them at the finance committee meeting. There's no money for it. All of a sudden, Johnny Downs is fixed. All this other shit is going. They want Rice and Gold Ring rebuilt. But all of a sudden, when it comes to our communities, oh, we don't got the money. We're strapped for cash. We're strapped for cash. No, you're not.
And also the golf course got roaches.
The golf course has roaches.
Yes, the town talk went over there. It's called the Oak Wing, right?
Yeah, that's where Lee Rubin one time he had his campaign finance. That's where Reddix did one of his events out there as well, when he was called himself trying to run against Ed, which was hilarious. That was phenomenal. I'm so glad Reddix got put in this place because, bro, you could barely run your district. I don't know what made you think you could run a whole
Put
district.
all that money on them signs.
Yeah,
Actually, it's Links on the Bayou, not Oakwing. Links on the
Oh.
Bayou, unless they
Links on
changed
the
it.
Bayou. Oh well,
Yeah.
then sounds like somebody trying to get them shut down. Do they serve
Yeah,
food
not-
out there?
I don't know, but I don't know if that's must be the other one, but the one that you guys pay for is Links on the Bayou. So I don't know if they changed the name. Remember, Tavares, you did a whole story on that. You even broke down how much they pay the people out there that don't do anything.
Listen,
Remember that?
Mama, I do not remember any of that.
Yes, you did a whole thing on it. You did it yourself. Yeah.
Oh shit.
And because we were talking about Johnny Downs at the time, we were talking about all the places. That's when we discovered that we pay for the land, that plantation Johnny Downs sits on, remember? And we found out how long the lease is for 99 years. We talked about the maintenance that you guys pay for, like Mr. Porter said, about $900,000 y'all pay for on Johnny Downs.
Mhm.
And the idea, when I looked at their website, we were looking at their website about Dixie League. It's just amazing how it's our. He's not. Y'all got to look and
Oh yeah,
listen to
I
what
get
he's
that
saying.
part. I'm sorry, you're right about that.
He's not saying the cities. He said our. So that ownership, that supremacy ownership, those are my slaves. Okay, keep in mind that mentality. Yeah, Oak Wing is on the base. That's right, Miss Hodges. That's right, Miss Honoree. I'm sorry. How you doing, Miss Lady? It sure is. That's right. They changed the name of it. Now, now this is what you know what, when you were bringing up all that stuff and how they were struggling, paying for this and paying for that. Why are you struggling? You're a nonprofit organization. I know unless your books ain't right, you should be able to get a grant for sports, anything to enhance youth. You should have been able to get some type of grant or something.
I don't need a grant. I got the city behind me.
Well, yeah, but they were whining and crying 2 or 3 years ago. If you go back to the post that you were reading.
Okay, so here it goes. It says here, differing from most similar organizations, DYB Inc. is not operated by paid professionals. DYB is proud of all volunteer program from the local level to the national level. We feel that this approach puts what's best for the children above all else. So they said that it doesn't make any money. They keep telling you that it doesn't make any money. So why in the hell are you expecting Dixie League to turn a profit? Why are you expecting them to turn a profit? And the fact that we pointed out that it doesn't make any money, that's when they started deflecting the, well, it makes money for the hotel motel. No, it doesn't. It never has. Mr. Porter says the only time the city has ever turned a profit is when Dixie League wasn't even operating. When the city turned a profit, it was the year the zoo closed down. That's when the city started getting above red or above black or whatever it is, red or black. I can't remember. But that's when we started turning a profit. We started actually seeing money flow back into the city, is when these two venues shut down, when they weren't operational. Other than that, as Mr. Porter continually says, these things operate at a net loss. We lose money just for having them. And people don't understand. So now, when you ask yourself, where does the money go? Diamond Youth Baseball of Alexandria, formerly Dixie Youth Baseball of Alexandria. It is a stadium. They are the stadium. It is them. It's a venue. It's not an organization on here. It's an organization over here, right? It's an organization over here. But on their website, on their Facebook, they're a venue. That means they are Johnny Downs. That means that you're going to go through them to get to Johnny Downs. That means Johnny Downs is not publicly owned. It's privately owned, obviously, right? Right? At $17 million at a cost of your parks. And had not Villard said what he said to Miss Cynthia, I wouldn't even be talking about this in this manner right now. But I want y'all to remember, don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. These people have put out, please be respectful. Check this out. Please be respectful of our rules. Our rules. And then they list all these no sunflowers, chewing gum, all this other shit. So I said, I thought it was a public place. When did Diamond Youth Baseball of Alexandria take over that public facility? You guys are paying for this and you don't know it. You're paying for all of this and you don't know it. All right. Bicycles, rollerblades, skateboards, or other wheeled equipment. You can't have that. You can't hit or throw any type of balls into the fence or netting, which is stupid. No hanging things on the netting. No pets, leashed or unleashed. No glass bottles or glass containers. No smoking or tobacco products. No sunflower seeds or shelled nuts. Chewing gum, sunflower, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And you know it has something to do with the city because look at the bottom here. They literally quote a city ordinance. I feel like Finesse two-time when he looking in the camera and just shake his head. I don't understand. Yeah. Champ. You guys need to say something. You need to address it. You got Restore, you got Dixie League. These are all programs that are designed to take money from you. And then they're going to tell you, no, we don't have the money for that. Villard, if you would have never said that, I would have never had a problem. Well, I still would have had a problem. I'm going to lie. But you saying that made me go, I'm like, wait a minute. Can't we just give these motherfuckers $17 million and you going to tell us that we don't have enough money to fucking fix Cheatham Park? Motherfucker, what the fuck? You got high schools around this mug that play baseball, and they have a baseball field right across the street from the high school, and they can't play in it because it's not up to. But Johnny Downs is. What's the difference? One's in a black community, one's in a white community. I keep telling y'all, it's very coded, as they say. It's very coded. Very coded. Right? Let's see. Now, it says in the summer of 1955, a group of men in South Carolina met for the purpose of forming an organization which would provide a complete program of supervised baseball for preteen boys. Matt Goyak, Danny Jones, Bill Harth, and Tom Linton, the incorporators of the program, continue to work bringing in additional youth leaders to lay plans for the first summer of play. Now, what this website is blatantly lying to you about is the real reason that they started Dixie League is because there was a black youth baseball team. This was the World Series, World Little League Series. And there was a black youth baseball team that was whooping all of them boys' asses. And when it got to the point where it was time for that team to play those black kids, they refused. They left the Little League organization they were with, and they formed Dixie League. Get it? I can't. Revisionist history, you guys got to be very, very mindful of this revisionist history, how they try to repaint what really happened and they try to make it look all innocent. They didn't tell the reason why. They didn't tell the reason why. They didn't tell the reason why they wanted to form their own. The new league was called Little Boys Baseball, incorporated in 1962. The name was changed to Dixie Youth Baseball, incorporated after Little League Baseball organizations challenged the use of the word little in our name. So, Diamond Youth Baseball, Johnny Downs, one and the same. It is not a public place. You are paying for them to play their games on their terms. If you are not a part of Dixie League, you do not have access to Johnny Downs. You can only pay for it. That's it. You're not allowed to come out there. You're not authorized to come out there. Mr. Porter told y'all that him, Mr. Larverdane, I think it was Bubba McCall, they all went out there to look at Johnny Downs and got the police called on them. So when Jock was parading around, your boy Keith Fox, I'm not gonna call no grown ass man Skip, but when he was parading around Keith Fox and gloating on Keith Fox was the one that was over the whole operation. These are facts. Now let's fly across. Well, let's go a block up to Links on the Bayou. Let me show you what your money going to. Can I? Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Can I? All right, fine. All right. Not the Porch Grill and the Pro Shop. You mean to tell me they're turning a profit and not giving it to the people, even though they're using the people's money to make a profit? You got to be kidding me. They got a whole entire restaurant, a golf pro shop. Look at it. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. And you're paying for it. No return on investment. They got a whole shopping mall out there. You're paying for that. You are.
I never knew this was even out there. I always thought that we only had the golf course on the airbase.
No. We have that. We got this. Check this out, guys. Look at this.
Wow,
Look at this public facility. Look at this public facility you don't have no access to. You ain't gonna never be able to go in the Links on the Bayou. Ever. Because you're the wrong color. Look at the big screen. Boy, it's nice out there. Right? You ain't never seen it because you ain't never been allowed to go there. You got to listen, folks. I'm just telling you the truth. I literally am telling you the truth. Now they have a pro shop inside Links on the Bayou. Are they paying rent? Or is that free? Hey, who's paying the utilities to cover this?
We do. It's in the budget.
Mm-mm-mm. Not the loyalty points program. Hell no. Not the loyalty points. Oh, yeah, I do remember that show, Mom. Now that I think about it. Yeah. Because the director, the guy in charge of Links on the Bayou, doesn't even live in Alexandria. He lives in Baton Rouge. And his salary is like $90,000 a year or something like that. I can't remember. He makes a lot of money to do nothing. It says here, about us. Boom. My favorite part. In 2002, how many years ago was that? 24? The city of Alexandria opened Links on the Bayou in order to meet the area's growing need for a public golf course. Mike Mitten, president of M2 Management, is responsible for the daily operations and staffing for the facility. In 2002, the city of Alexandria opened Links on the Bayou in order to meet the area's growing need for public golf courses? What?
I have never been to a golf course a day in my life.
I feel like Finesse two-time. I'm just shaking my head in front of the microphone. I wasn't raised to be no WWC. I'm a frit. No, I'm just playing. So this growing need, did we meet it? At what cost? What cost? How much has Links on the Bayou cost the citizens of Alexandria since 2002? We don't want to do that math. Never mind. Oh, never mind. But I'm just saying. This is all I'm saying. This is it. This is all I'm saying. Where's your return on investment? Y'all should be livid. The fact that they're using your tax dollars to sell golf equipment and you don't get anything out of it. And it's all profit. They don't even pay utility bills. It's all profit. Damn. You talking about a scam? This is a scam. Johnny Downs is a scam. It's a scam. It's a scam.
Yeah, the golf course, I had to pull it up. The golf course altogether gets $1 million. Like $1,101,000. Well, this is on the proposed budget, by the way. I can go back to last year to actually see, what was set in stone. But as of now, since the budget was pushed back for 2 weeks, as of now, $1,101,000.
Close it early for Easter. New merch drop. Johnny Brand is selling his shit at Links on the Bayou. Look at the let's see. Oh, they compete for money out there. So not only are they gambling, they're stealing your money, they're gambling. They done turn this shit into a high-class trap house.
You know, so um, looking at the budget, I'm not gonna go by the proposed. I'm gonna go by what it says for 25, 26. So for interfund transfers, it says admin approved 250,000. Investment income was 0. Charges for services ended up being 711,000, and that equaled up to, it says total revenue 961,000. That's what it says for revenue, but you know that ain't right. And the expenses, you hear me, Tavares? Tavares,
What'd you say?
you can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, my bad. Okay, so for that part was for a revenue summary. Now for expense summary. Tell me if this makes sense. It says operating and contractual. It says admin approved 885,000. Interfund transfer 76,000. Total expenses 961,000. How is the expenses the same as the revenue?
Oh, they're letting you know that they're breaking even. That there's no. Don't look over here. There's no money over here. We're breaking even. Don't worry about it.
But I think something's wrong. I might have to ask Mr. Porter because I'm seeing the same thing for um transportation.
Oh,
Municipal transit
they don't want
fund.
to tell you that they're operating at a net loss. So the best thing they can do is tell you
It's the
that
break even
is the
for
break even. Yeah.
okay.
They don't want to tell you that Links on the Bayou operates at a deficit and it actually owes the city and the taxpayers money back. So instead of admitting that, see, transportation, I can see that, right? Because that's a necessity. That's public transportation. Everybody has access to it, right? But not everybody has access to Links on the Bayou and whatever the fuck they got going on over here. It looks like they're gambling. It does look like they're gambling. Hold on, let me go back. Because there's a purse, right? And anytime that you can win a purse by competing, right? So yeah, they're gambling over there. They're gambling. They're definitely gambling on Links on the Bayou in your face.
But check this real quick. I'm not taking over your show, but I opened up, my, you know, the
Uh
operating budget. But I looked at the zoo, right?
huh.
And I'm listening to what you're saying. These years are breaking even, but check this. Year 2023 to 24 and year 24 to 25 do not. So the
That's
expenses,
when Jock took over.
all right, all right. So that's when the numbers are different. That's when the profit in the middle. I'm gonna do the math. Give me a second.
Okay. Some of these names on this list you might recognize. Lance Laborde, Dell Laborde, you know, who's some of these other people? And we're definitely going to look at we're going to definitely cross-reference some of these people with the campaign finance reports. Don't worry. There goes Marler, you know. There goes Hurst. You know what I mean? Yeah, they over there gambling. They over there gambling on the taxpayers' dollars. Ain't that some shit? Boy, that's some cold shit. Right? That's some cold shit. Damn. Damn. Now, check this out. Right? $70 per player, right? Or $40 per player. Either way it goes, they filled it up. Look how many people signed up, right? But check this out. If you're charging them to do something at 70%, right? Shouldn't that money go back to the city? Shouldn't you be paying bills with that? You know, shouldn't you be covering some of your overhead due to the competition and the people that are using the facility? Shouldn't you be doing that? No. Where's the money? Where's the money? Where is the money from Johnny Downs? Like I said, y'all, there are people smarter than me that would definitely find the lawsuit in this. There are people that are smarter than me that would find the lawsuit in this, because Ken Nichols and Earl Johnson made $400 off of this. These two had to split $200. They're making money out there. They're gambling at links on the Bayou. They have a budget for a purse, right? They got $4,000 to collect to divvy out for the winners, but they don't have nothing on the utility bill. You ain't got shit on the light bill. Couldn't be me.
That was a good old boys hookup that happened years ago, and nobody really brought any big deal about it or brought it to attention until
we started bringing it up.
Mr. Porter, when Mr. Porter brought it up, I think that's when people start paying attention. And I know some people say, well, that's just something for the kids. It's for the kids. No, you guys have to understand the process and the things that they did to get it for their kids. Now, there was a couple of people saying, my kids pay out there, but you only, it's what, 45?
It's Reddix. It was Reddix and maybe one other parent. It's 3 kids that play out there that really, you know.
16,000 kids, 16,000 African-American kids, I think back then when Mr. Porter brought it up, they're not playing out there. From the ages, I forgot what the age limit was, but they weren't playing out there. They weren't enjoying the Johnny Downs. And do you remember when you couldn't go on Johnny Downs? They didn't want you on Johnny Downs. And see, you guys, y'all got to see what this means. This is bigger than what you think it is. The idea that you guys are paying for a park, I don't care what you want to call it, sports complex, whatever. You're paying for a park that you can't even use. You don't even have access to it. If you don't think this remind me of 1950s Jim Crow time, you guys are literally, and this is a nonprofit organization that they allow to run something that you are putting money into. If you look at that budget, what does Johnny Down budget look like? Talk about, pull up Johnny Down's budget. This is what
she was on something else. Hold on.
Okay. When you find that number, this is what you guys are paying for annually that your kids can't even use. And then you whine and crying about Cheatham Park getting some things done to it. Really?
I want to point out the fact that they out there gambling. This is a spread. This is a gambling spread. This is what they're doing. It's got the price right here. It says $5 a box. They're out there gambling. What does this have to do with links to the value?
It says New England Patriots, and see, that's not no.
They're gambling. That's what you don't, because you don't know nothing about this. You fill in the box. You buy a box. Each box is $5.
Okay,
right?
I got you.
What does that have to do with links on the Bayou?
Well, honey, gambling, you got gambling all over the place.
But you shouldn't be gambling on the taxpayers' dollars. If the taxpayers are paying for your facility so you can go gamble, I thought this was about golf. It's not about golf. This is about their pocket money. This is about them linking up and hanging out. That's why they call it links on the Bayou. They be linking up.
Miss Shamir, if you still there, Miss Shamir, if you can you look at the budget and see how much Johnny Downs got this year?
she's looking at something else right now.
That'll
Oh,
be
okay.
it's gonna be no, I had calculated that. It was the net income was around 724,000.
So seven
Um
hundred and $24,000 that you guys give. Now, that's your money. That's
no no
not
no no no.
nobody
no.
else's.
That was the expenses minus the revenue. Well I'm sorry, the revenue minus the expenses.
Okay, so what's the revenue?
The revenue.
What's the bring
It
in?
says, well, this was for year 24, 25.
What
Because
was
every
it?
other year after that is breaking even. But
It's not breaking even. He just
It
put the
I
never
know.
numbers
was.
in
They're
I
playing with the
know. I'm
numbers.
just
They're
telling you
playing with
how
the
it
numbers.
looked,
there.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
24, 25, the hold on. Well, I'm gonna go to the expenses first because it was higher. But the expenses were 36, 39, 347. And the revenue was 29, 15,
So they're not. So yeah,
312.
they're losing.
What was in between the net? What would be the net income? Would be the 725,000.
It'd be what?
725,000.
Okay, wait a minute.
That's the
Wait.
expenses minus the revenue, and that would equal net income.
Okay. No. No.
All
Again.
of a sudden, they've been breaking even, but this year they made almost $1 million.
Okay, now remember he said when it comes to taxes, it's 2 cents on the dollar. How many dollars you said? 750,000? Is that what you said?
725.
Okay, out of 725, you divide that by the
0.025.
okay, what you got? Tell me what you got. That's what y'all got as revenue
Divided
back
by
into it.
point
Shh.
02. Oh. So if it's $724,035, which was the exact amount, you said divided by
Mhm.
0.025.
I
Yeah, I
think
think
it
that's
might
what
be
Tavares said.
multiplied by, but we'll see if it's divided
Oh,
by.
Mr.
It ended
Porter.
up being like 28,000, almost 29,000.
So, Mr. Porter.
Oh,
Hello, Mr. Porter.
Hey,
Hey,
Mr. Porter, he just
hey,
in
Mr. Porter.
time.
yeah, I've been listening to the show, and I heard what y'all were trying to do
We
with.
discussing them numbers. Don't tell me I'm messing up.
Now you're doing good. You're
Uh,
doing real good. You're going right to the pages and pulling it up. You're not going to find a sheet like what you have for the zoo fund or the municipal transit fund or the golf fund because they intentionally do not show the sports complex that way. Because if
right.
they did, then you would see the previous years with a huge loss. We put about 900,000 into that every year into that sports complex every year. Now that does not include the utilities that get spread to the citizens. That does not include and same thing that you pointed out at the golf course and at the zoo. Those folks are out there making money, selling food, selling merchandise, charging admission, doing events. You know, if you wanted to have a party out there or at the zoo, you can rent it out and do that. But none of that money comes back to the city. So on the sheet for the golf course, uh, 27, you'll see where income, uh, um, well, charges for services is what money they receive from people who come there to golf. Now, you see use of property, zero. You don't get anything from that. And then other, not since 2023 did they get anything from that. So that means any events they have out there, none of that money comes back into the city as revenue. And what what the city of Alexandria has been doing when they do a budget, they always show them breaking even. So when they put a budget together, whatever your revenue projections are, they're going to show the same amount for expense projection. So that means there won't be any extra money. But in reality, especially with utilities, there always is. If you look at the utility fund, they'll show that utilities revenue is projected at $113,120,617. Okay, now I'm on page 24.
Okay,
then,
1 second. Oh, go ahead, sir.
oh, okay. So if you go all the way down to the bottom to show the expense summary, it's $113,120,617. Now that's how they do their budget. Whatever they project the revenue at, they project that same number for their expense, which means if those numbers were accurate and if it was true, then you would come in with zero money. So that whatever you take in is going to go out as expenses. And that's not the case. That's not the case for utilities at all. That's how we run this city, really. And so
why do they do that like that if that's not the appropriate way to do it?
That's just their accounting method they chose to use years ago. For instance, if you know that your expenses are going to be, say, $100 million, and you're projecting $113 million as revenue, then that means in your budget, you're showing a $13 million profit. And they don't want to show any money. And that's, and look, they've been doing that since Ned Randolph, okay?
And they also pull money out of the, what is it, the general fund?
Yes, that's right.
For all of these, for, well, whichever ones they choose to. So it's going to be sanitation, the zoo, and the golf course.
Yeah, so now, wherever you see inter-fund transfer, and you'll see that in sanitation, you'll see that in the zoo, you'll see that in the golf course, you'll see that in the transit, okay, A-train, municipal transit. Okay, what that means, that's money coming from somewhere else, either from the general fund or it's coming from utilities. Okay, the profit that we make off utilities. So it's because it's coming in from somewhere else rather than, what the zoo is producing or the golf course is producing, it's being shown as a revenue. It's shown as money coming in, and when actually it's coming from another part of the city of Alexandria budget or taxpayers' money. Okay, it's either coming from utilities, which the taxpayers paid into with their utility bills, or it's coming from the general fund, which is the money that we hold in like a slush fund, like a savings account, things like that. But it's referred to as the general fund. So if you look at the zoo inter-fund transfer, the zoo needs $1,898,000 $2,000. Well, that was 2026, and $454. That means we had to supplement the zoo to the tune of almost $2 million. That's how much the
Yeah,
zoo is losing.
you're
And
right. And
that
they want
was
to get a new
just
sign. I guess that's going to fix things, right? The
it,
neon sign.
yeah. So and if you look back at 2024, 2025, I'm on the zoo now, page 26. In 24, 25, we had to put 832,000 into it. That's
Yep.
just to break even, okay?
Yeah, I see.
In 2025, 26, we had to put 1,898,000 in there. It went up by an entire $1 million.
Wow.
It went up $1 million that we have to add to it. The
Hmm.
zoo is essentially losing
Oh, yeah.
almost $2 million a year. And if you look at the gate receipts, look at what the gate receipts are. This is the line that says charges for services. In
Yeah.
2024, 25, it was only $521,000, $500,000.
Hmm. Oh, wow.
And let me jog your memory. During this budget meeting, remember Jack Roy pulled out all of these colorful pages talking about how many people visit the zoo and from how many parishes in the state, and how many people visit from out of state. Okay, well, all that netted was $521,000. We had to kick in another $2 million.
They don't do any type of advertisement, Mr. Porter. They're like no type of real events. Like, what is the zoo booth? Like, I brought my little cousins to that when they were in elementary. They were in high school.
I went to Zubu when I
Now,
was in elementary.
zoo booth, we've got those old animals in there that's depressed.
I'm going through these what y'all talking about, and I'm looking at links on the Bayou. They consistently have paid competitions. Consistently. That when you win, there's a purse involved where you can win money. So they're essentially gambling on links on the Bayou, having these ornate competitions. And yes, I did see Chuck Fowler's name up there. I saw his name in one of those. I did. Right. I didn't want nobody to see what I saw and think that I looked past it. I did, and I saw it too. But they're consistently using these facilities and turning a profit. And if they're not turning a profit, they're completely using that facility to keep other people away. You have to sign up for this and sign up this. It's not like it says it's public, right? It gives you the guise that it's public, but it definitely doesn't give off public, is what I'm saying. It gives off private like a mug. I don't know what this is about, but they're look at this. They're paying. They're gambling. This is gambling. This is gambling. They're gambling at links on the Bayou. They're winning money at links on the Bayou. They're collecting purses at links on the Bayou, right? They're making money. There's a $4,000 purse on this particular scramble from February. But they can't even kick in on a little bit of the light bill. They can't kick in on a little bit of the facility maintenance bill. They can't kick in on nothing. They can't kick in on the water bill. I know you got clean water out there. You can't kick in on that. You can't chip in on nothing. Look at Chuck Fowler. I told you his name was up there. Look at Chuck Fowler and Craig Kelly. Now, what if Chuck Fowler voted on this, turned around, entered a competition, and won money off of it? That's not a conflict of interest, though. Sure, I get it. It's only that if you're black. Now, had this been a basketball court and they were holding weekend basketball competitions, and one of the council people was a great basketball player, and they were winning money out there like on White Men Can't Jump, then we would have a problem. Oh, we got illegal gambling over there at Cheatham Park. They got a basketball court out there. They're illegally gambling. I think they're playing for money. That's what he would do. He would snitch. He would snitch and try to get it shut down. Meanwhile, Robert Harrison and Joe Hardy over here, or no, Ken Nichols and Earl Johnson over here is making $400 off of playing golf. I don't understand. It's cool when they do it. KP Miles, I recognize that name. You're one of those people that always want to say some crazy shit on KLAB. I remember a lot of these names. These are the people that when we say something about what's going on at the city, they're the ones that come to the city's rescue. And, oh, it's not that bad. You guys are racist. What a shame. But my question is, what are y'all going to do about it? What are y'all going to do about this? What are y'all going to do about being taken advantage of and being fleeced? What are y'all going to do about it?
Right.
Jock's okay with it. So you can't go to him and be like, this is wrong. They've been doing it since 2002. So Jock's definitely okay with it. You know, we're talking about these Johnny Downs numbers. They want to put the kids in front of it, but I believe they're running a fleecing organization. Johnny Downs and Links on the Bayou are running the same scam. That's what I think. That's why they're right next to each other and they're both on the same plantation land. They're running a scam. And they're scamming the taxpayers. So what are you guys going to do about it? Right? This started out talking about the Restore program, Mr. Porter. I hope I haven't gone all over the place. I'm pointing out these connecting dots of scams and schemes at the taxpayers' expense and at the ratepayers' expense. And I'm pointing out the fact that the main reason why the Restore program wasn't a grant and it was a loan is because he used the verbiage of a grant to get the people to sign up and get access to that money, and then turned it into a loan afterwards so he could get the grant money and charge the people. So he double dipped on that. That's how we were able to get out of that hole so fast. But my main point when I started the show was that it was premeditated because he had the Restore program in his pocket at least a year before he came into office. And the only person, Mr. Porter, I would like your input on this. Because if I'm not mistaken, if there was a data breach and the information that they needed to create the Restore program was inside the data breach, wouldn't it be plausible to say that they needed the information from the data breach to create the Restore program?
What I think, based on the limited information they were willing to even share with the city council, it was really crazy. But what this was all about is that data breach, the hacking into the city system and shutting down the things that we were able to do. We couldn't even access our bank accounts. We couldn't do payroll. We were doing that by hand, or I should say manually, putting stuff in, not even taking people's taxes and things out. We were going to have to go back later and take that out, but we were trying to pay people. And the thing is,
Restore, I don't think was connected to that because Restore, most of the money that Jack Roy was trying to get his hands on in that Restore scam, most of that money was money from the CLECO settlement that had not been dispersed. And so that was held somewhere else. Matter of fact, you notice it doesn't even show up in the budget, right? Or if you went back to previous year's budget. And I don't know if Jeff Hall, having worked for CLECO, even knew about that, because if he did, he certainly could have tapped into that money the same way Jack Roy went and grabbed the money. So that amount of money from CLECO, from that settlement, could only be used, to reimburse residents or the clients, the customers of the utility system for having overpaid. They were overcharged and they overpaid. And so once that was recognized, this was the settlement that CLECO agreed to give back, that they overpaid. The thing is, there was a lot of people they could no longer reach to refund money to. They no longer had an account. They moved away, they passed away, they died. There was all sorts of things. So that money was still sitting there. Now, why Jeff Hall didn't know about it and didn't use it, I don't know. Soon as Jock came in, he figured, okay, that money was buried somewhere underneath, a tree, and he was going to dig it up. But the problem was he could only use it to reimburse people for utility bills. So that's how this Restore Ponzi scheme came about. So they said, okay, we're going to give you money. You have to file an application and apply for it. And it's up to $1,000 that you can get and all of that stuff. And so they dispersed that money, and that fulfilled their legal requirement that it can only be used for people's utilities, to reimburse people for their utility that has been overcharged. Well, after he did that and closed the books on it, okay, I've dispersed it, it went to these folks and these businesses, then he turns around and they start clawing it back, and they're taking it back. Now, they had already fulfilled their requirement for the eligible uses of the money. So that's gone, close the book on it, done deal. Now coming back and get it. It's as if you borrowed money from someone and then you pay them back and they got the money back. And then they come back and say, hey, you remember that money I lent you? Okay, you need to pay me back. Well, I've already paid you back. No, you need to pay me back. Or if somebody say, well, you ask them, can you give me this? And they say, and they give it to you. And then later on, they say, look, remember that money I gave you? I need it back. And that's what he did. People thought it was a grant, and it was no grant. It was a loan. And you just didn't know until months later when they charged it to your account. And if you couldn't pay your account, you got cut off. So I don't think that was tied to the breach or the hacking. I don't think that at all. But now what the hackers did do, they locked up everything to where we couldn't operate. They just went in and shut everything down and demanded $8 million as a ransom to free up our system. So that's I don't think those two were really connected because we didn't even know about the 3.5 million and where it was. So if Alpha 5 knew where it was, shoot, they would have taken it. They would have locked that up also.
Well, I think it was in a conservatorship with the state.
And
They would have been able to get to it.
You're right. You're absolutely right. It was in some kind of trust, some kind of conservatorship, some kind of what do you call those accounts with your mortgage where they just escrow
Yeah.
type thing. It was
escrow. That's
like
what they called it. That's what they called it.
And
now
and
wait a
so-
minute, Mr. Porter. You know who would know the conditions of that settlement and where the money was? Jock Roy.
Oh yeah. Oh, he definitely
Because he was a lawyer on the case.
yes, and and he was the mayor at the time when the settlement came. So absolutely, he would know.
So I don't know. I'm a conspiracy theorist. I know everybody not gonna see it the way I'm thinking it, but it just seems like that data breach felt like a shakedown from the inside. That's all I'm gonna say. It felt like a shakedown from the inside. I feel like that the fact that the Project Restore was developed at the same time. Now they might be completely separate, but according to the timelines, they both took place at the same time. Jock started creating Project Restore when the breach happened. And I know they're not related, and I know we're going to agree there, right? We're saying that they're not related. But they were happening alongside each other. And if the aim was to get to that $3 million, there's only one person that knew where it was. And then if the other aim, didn't they ask for 8 million?
Oh well, that was the ransom demand. Yes,
That was the ransom demand.
right.
And they sent Jeff Hall. Well, I'm not gonna say they sent Jeff Hall. Jeff Hall came to y'all without going to the authorities first. It said, "Hey, let's pay him."
Well, he did call. He requested a special council meeting, and he wanted the council to approve a payment of the $8 million ransom, and we voted against it. Well, 4 of us voted against it. So, but you know, the thing is, Jock Roy knew that money existed, and it's interesting that the hackers locked up everything else we had. But I think you're absolutely right. The fact that that was in a different type of conservatorship, escrow, trust type fund, and it wasn't listed anywhere with the city, like in our budget or any reports that we make, because we were not in possession of the money. You know, it was like it was in a lockbox somewhere. You know, not in our bank account, but somewhere else. And Jock knew where it was, and Jock had the key to it. You know, so yeah, the timing is the fact that the timing is very similar. I don't think that's just a coincidence. I don't. So
Let's just label it a coincidence till we find out more. We'll just call it a coincidence. We'll just call it a coincidence. We'll call it a coincidence, and we'll you know, because he came into office with the plan already laid out. It was a part of his 100-day plan.
Already, I mean, that was one of the first things he submitted right after he was sworn in. Yep.
Miss Jeannie Moran says, well, if he knew it was available, then there you have it. No, Miss Jeannie Moran, it's a coincidence. We're going to allegedly.
Well, obviously he knew, right? Because when as soon as he got sworn in, he submitted it.
He went directly after it.
Yeah, he submitted it, right?
He
On
went directly after it.
on the conference agenda.
My other main concern, Mr. Porter, and I'm so glad you decided to join us. I really do enjoy having you on because I get clarity. I have a lot of conspiracy theories and I can get pretty spaced out. And I guess some of the messaging that I have can get like, what the fuck is he talking about? Oh, excuse my language. Well, what is he talking about? And it keeps me grounded to have like somebody that was there and they can like, okay, I get what you're saying because a lot of stuff probably I'll be out there. But if I'm saying that Links on the Bayou has a golf pro shop inside and a restaurant. They collect money from these tournaments. They have purses that they pay out. And we take care of them 100%, including the salaries of the staff. And there is a revenue to be had, even if it's minimal. If you're holding a tournament a month and you're making, you're at least able to give something on this light bill, something on the grass, being cut, or it's turf out there, I believe.
It's turf now, yes. But now the other parts of that entire ground is grass. And so there's cutting there as well as pest control. There's a lot of things, fertilizing, also sorts of stuff, watering it.
Do they use brown water to water it?
No.
You see what I'm saying? Isn't there like a little spring fountain out there?
There is. Yes, there is.
Is that water brown?
No, indeed. It's not.
I'm telling y'all, if y'all got the right set of lawyers and y'all got the right people behind y'all, there is a lawsuit somewhere in this. Because you can't tell me that the only place that gets brown water are the black neighborhoods. You can't convince me of that. You can't tell me how that's even possible. But I did hear Jock Roy say that they can send the sediment to certain parts of town. They can flush the sediment to a particular section of town and flood it out. And where's the wastewater facility treatment at? In our community, on the other side of Franco-Hunter. If you go through the woods of Franco-Hunter, you'll be in the backgrounds of that water waste facility treatment. But like Miss Jeannie Moran said, coincidence my behind. Hold on, let me, because these are the guys you're paying. Now, mind you, these are not city employees. Hold on, I'm gonna need to confirm that.
Well, no, those are not city employees.
But we pay them. We pay their salary.
Well, if you look on the page, that where you see under expenses, the contracts and obligations, that's what we pay them. So those are contracts for them.
I'm shaking my head like Finesse 2 times. Ain't no way. And are they so they're the management company. So what are they managing?
They're managing the golf course, and the other group is managing the other group is managing the zoo.
All right, let me see. Contact. Careers. I don't want to. I'm trying to find out who's the treasurer. Oh, it's the city of Alexandria, Louisiana. And it's powered by Kinetics as well. There you go, folks. Some of this stuff you can't make up. But this city facility makes money, but none of the money makes it back to the city. It's just city funded. It's just it just the money never makes it back to the taxpayers. Let's see. Credentials. In 2009, Links on the Bayou was rated Louisiana's #1 municipal golf course by Louisiana by Golf Digest. Hosted the Web.com Tour qualifier for the Chitimacha, Louisiana Open, held at Le Triomphe Country Club in Lafayette. Co-host of the Adams Pro Tour Coca-Cola Open with Oak Wing. Annual host of the LHSS AA regional tournaments. Is that the high school? Yeah, that's Louisiana High School.
Louisiana High School Athletic Association.
Newly renovated short game facility featuring 2 greens and 6 pin locations and 3 bunkers. Newly renovated driving range. How do they renovate it? How are they making these renovations? Is that on the city taxpayers' dollars too?
Oh yeah, yeah. Anything like that we pay for it. Yes.
And we can't even get man. I don't even know what we can't get. Let me see what this, because I did see a map down here. Yeah, I wanted to see this map because I wanted to know how close is Links on the Bayou to Johnny Downs. Hold on. I just saw the map. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. All right, cool. We'll do it like this. Copy. And then we'll go to over here. Oh, Mr. Porter, this thing about Diamond Youth Baseball.
Oh, Lord. Boy, that threw me for a loop. And that was changed in 2022?
That's what it said.
They changed the name in 2022. Well, I certainly didn't know about that.
Did you know that they're not an organization, but they refer to themselves as a stadium, arena, and sports venue? It's not an organization. It's not Dixie Baseball. It's the City of Alexandria. So the City of Alexandria is Dixie League.
No. So they were Dixie, whatever. I think at one time they were referring to everything they had as Dixie Youth Athletics, but apparently that might have just been something they were calling the overall composite of what they do. That wasn't actually part of their name, but you would see Dixie Youth Athletics, and they had the different age groups, and the baseball for the boys, the softball for the girls, the what do you call it, skills camp, the summer camp, the travel leagues. So they had all of that listed under Dixie Youth Athletics, all the stuff they offered. But now their name, I mean, look, they are not part of the City of Alexandria municipal government. Now, if they call themselves City of Alexandria Diamond League, then that's fine. You know, they're using that name. But I tell you what, Tavares, I would have to see if there were new contracts put before the city council that formed a joint venture with Diamond League. Now, in the past, it was always cooperative endeavor agreements, and that agreement, that was a peach. It gave them exclusive use of the field. Nobody else could use it, and they didn't pay for anything. You know, so just like what you're reading off for the golf course, the sports complex is the exact same way.
Mr. Porter, I don't know how you got to it that quick, but I just realized something. Right? So let's look at I'm looking at the golf course right now, 271 Vanderburg, right?
Yeah.
Or am I? or am I? Because what's the address here for Diamond Youth Baseball? 271. It's the same address.
So they're using, what are they using as their
They're
address?
using the golf course's address.
Wow. I don't know what to make of that. I guess after this coaches building that is completed, the one for $700,000 in the budget, I guess then they will have offices there, right? And then that becomes their mailing address. Because apparently they have an office at the golf course.
Well, why would they have an office at the golf course?
Well, they used to have before the tornado, they used to have a series of trailers. I think it was like 3 trailers that served as their offices and places where the coaches could go relax and get refreshments and stuff like that. So they used to have 3 trailers. Now those trailers were damaged with the tornado. And that's when they came back and they wanted to, instead of put trailers back, they wanted a building, and I fought against that. I objected. I tried to get people to recognize this will never stop. And they approved. They approved that building, and it's a gold-plated building. I think it was like.
Oh, okay. I see. They're right next to each other. No, they're not actually. They shouldn't be using the same address, Mr. Porter.
No, the golf course is not next to the sports complex. No.
Hold on, I got it. So this is the sports complex right here, and this is Links on the Bayou,
right
here, right. But ironically, what nobody's paying attention to is the Rapides Parish Sheriff's Office right here. No, not the Rapides Parish Sheriff's Office across the street from Johnny Downs and the golf course. And it's not just one golf course, folks. It's not just one. Oak Wing is right across the street from here. Here's Oak Wing. Yeah, here's Oak Wing over here somewhere. I lost it, but it's right here. There it goes. Oak Wing is right here. So you got 2 golf courses, Johnny Downs, and the sheriff's office and the airport all in one spot, conveniently outside the city. Oh, there goes Oak Wing. Here's Oak Wing. I guess I got too close. Yeah, there's Oak Wing. Right across the street from that is the sheriff's office. Right across the street from that is Johnny Downs. Listen, folks, I don't know what to make of none of this because ain't no way to tell. Oh, ain't no way you could tell me. Oh, she said she can't hear anything. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, there's no way you could tell me. I don't understand.
Let me just answer a question you posed a while back. I've been looking it up as we've been talking. So I cannot find a separate personnel sheet in the budget for the golf course. But now there is one for the zoo, and that's 24 employees. So 24 city employees work at the zoo. But I don't see anything for the golf course. Now, under a different department, they got one position for the golf course, but I don't see a sheet for the golf course. So that tells me
Maybe it's contracted. But what were you going
It's
to say?
all exactly. It's
Oh,
all contracted. So,
I learned that from y'all.
you what now?
I said I learned that part from y'all because they
Yeah.
do a lot of bidding, bids and contracts and things like that. So if you don't see the personnel for it, then it has to be in the contract section of the golf course fund.
So on page 27, down at the under expenses, operating and contractual,
Yeah, that one.
it's $885,000. So that's what we're paying the people to operate the golf course, but they are not city employees. So it's a city property. We pay them to operate it, and it loses money, and we have to supplement it by about 336,000 a year. That was last year, and they're projecting we're going to supplement it 250,000. But it hadn't been that low since 2023. 2023 was 212,000. So this, wherever you see inter-fund transfer, that's money coming either from the utility profits or from the general fund, and it's going into these areas. And unfortunately, the zoo and the golf course do not make money. Neither does the transit system, but we need the transit system because we have 15% poverty level in
Yeah.
Alexandria. And so many of the businesses rely on low wage, salary employees.
Right.
So those folks don't have transportation. And then sanitation is the other one. And there's a way to fix sanitation. You just got to educate the folks and let them understand the situation. But this thing with the golf course and the zoo, come on, folks. These people claim to be business people, right? And here we're losing $1,898,000 a year with the zoo. Why in the world would you continue that? Think of what we could do with almost $2 million in some of the areas of our city that's in dire need of funds. And then you heard Jim Ballard at the last meeting. We don't have any money to put into Cheatham Park. We just don't have the money.
We just don't have it.
But you got money for these crazy reignite things that's supposed to generate revenue, supposed to do revenue growth. They're going to run those pickleball courses the same way they run Johnny Downs and the zoo and the golf course. Nobody's going to pay for that. Nobody will be charged to play there. So where is the revenue growth coming from? And look, to be very honest, who is going to travel to Alexandria to play pickleball? Maybe I am totally
you're not in the loop.
Yeah, I maybe I'm totally ignorant of pickleball and what its attraction is and what its participation is, its audience is.
Now, I hope people realize that Menard has two baseball fields.
Gotten down to young ages, what, 25 to 34 or something like that?
Well, for
is a large growing sector.
for what?
For pickleball.
Oh, they try to target it towards seniors. I did see a lot of that. And I think that's what Alexandria is doing. Alexandria's trying to pose it. They want to take care of the seniors and the kids, so they're going to use the kids to get Johnny Downs, and they're going to use the seniors to get pickleball. But
Well,
I'm
now,
looking at
will seniors be out there in 90-degree weather playing pickleball?
absolutely,
They will be.
absolutely. I will make sure that we have them out there.
So they're going to do like at Johnny Downs, have those fans with the water mist spraying on them and the canopy and stuff.
Wait, is the pickleball courts inside or outside?
That's okay, because this will be the last thing that Roy has built under his administration. I can promise you that. It better be the last thing that he will ever build without our permission.
Now they do play pickleball inside. But
It'd be kind of hard to play pickleball outside, wouldn't it, because of the wind, right?
Well,
inside where?
Okay, you know what? I'm going to have to drive around there and look at that site.
Don't get escorted off.
Oh, I'll get arrested. Y'all going to have to bail me out.
We'll be there, but we got you. No worries.
Because I just figured it was
just letting that do it. He don't mind.
I just figured it was outdoors. You know.
Me too. That's what I thought too.
But see, when we watched the competition the other night, which got my video blocked, but when we watched the competition the other night, we discovered that it wasn't. They do it outdoors and indoors. But I'm thinking that due to the weight of the ball itself, you know, you would think that the wind would pick up and it would affect the play.
Yeah. They might have some little tent thing over it or something. You never know. They spending our money. We don't know how it's going.
Yeah, we don't know how they spending it. We just know they spending it.
But look, isn't a pickleball like a tennis ball?
It's a little bit lighter than a tennis ball.
It has then it have those. Excuse me. Then it have those
like a wiffle ball
holes in it, like cheese, like Swiss cheese. Is that not the pickleball?
Really?
Yeah, I thought. Yeah,
Really?
Let's look up what a wiffle ball looks like. Listen, y'all, we're doing some exploratory, and you know what? We used to do shows like this.
Wait, this is
it looks just like that. It has the little holes in it.
This is absolutely ridiculous.
So it's like plastic.
How is it we spent $1 million on 8 courts, and we don't even know the general public don't even know what this is?
Don't even know what a wiffle ball looks like.
Just like that dog park, ain't nobody gonna be there.
So you can't play this outside. You can't play this outside. You like if you play this outside, you have no. Listen, guys. It's literally a wiffle ball. It's a wiffle ball.
That's what it is.
It's on the screen. It's a wiffle ball.
Okay, I'm trying to see.
It's a wiffle ball.
See, I know a little something. I went to a PWI. That's how I know what that is.
What is a PWI?
I went to a mixed school.
A primary white institution.
Yeah. That's how I know what a pickleball is. Because they used to have the events during the week. You know, the free events during the week, exercise. So, you know.
Really?
Yep. Pickleball is a newly introduced an emergency.
It's not something I did. I watched them do it. I didn't do that.
Which was later developed. Listen to their explanation of pickleball. Pickleball is a newly introduced and emerging fun sport that focuses on acquiring physical benefits. It was later developed into a sport, but later it was officially introduced as a sport, which was later a lot of laters. All right, what is pickleball? Pickleball is an American game that represents tennis. It uses short-handed paddle bats to hit perforated balls across the net. Well, the history of the game is quite interesting. The game began in 1965 in Bainbridge. I don't care about this. That's a pickleball court, and we got 8 of them.
We got 8.
That shit looks expensive.
Well, I'll tell you what now. Well, I mean, people play tennis out in the heat. So I guess
Yeah,
they'll
but
play.
tennis balls are heavier.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about the actual exertion in that temperature condition.
Mm.
96, 95 degree weather with 90% humidity. You're out there on the court. I don't know. But anyway, that $1 million could have been put to some good use, especially addressing some of the critical issues we got. And then this whole thing is being touted as part of Reignite, and that Reignite is going to grow revenue for the city of Alexandria. So my question now is, how much money are they anticipating making off of these pickleball courts? We've invested $1 million, so how much are we going to get back?
Nothing.
Is it going to be like the golf course?
Yeah,
Is it
did they
going
say
to
it was
be like
free
the
or?
zoo?
Yeah,
Uh,
no, this is parks. This is under recreation. So it's not going to be
oh
any.
man.
Yeah, it's not going to be any income off of this. This is at a loss again.
Well, earlier you read the origin of the golf course, right? That the city built that golf course or bought that golf course, whatever it was, because there was such a emerging demand for golfing. Well, we don't have enough golfers to get above $500,000 of paid patronage. People coming to golf only amounts for $500,000, $500,000. And to keep that facility running, we got to add another 300,000 to it. So it doesn't pay for itself. And if we would increase the fees so that it would at the very least break even, those folks may not still come anymore. I don't know where else they might golf. As you mentioned, there's Oak Wing and there's some other things, but if we tried to run that the way it really should be run, I'm wondering how many people would come. Right now, the paid patronage only amounts to $500,000. So if you increase the fee to break even, it'll probably drop below that.
Well, we got a list of people that are using the golf course. You got Mitch Covington and Justin Martin, Eric Shavers, Landon Covington. You got Richie Toller, Greg Fauché. You got Wade Merchant, Micah Merchant, Dylan Stokes, and Dylan Gorey. You got Matt Willis. These are the people. Billy French, Jay Wackenwicks, which is the same guy as this guy. Hold on. He's also doubling as a staff member and not just, hold on, share this tab in sped. See him, Joey Wackenwicks, right? Now, share this tab in sped. Where is he at? Oh, Joey Wackenwicks. Where'd he go? I know he's here somewhere. Let me zoom in. Yeah, there he goes. That's Jay Wackenwicks. Whatever. I think it's the same person. Who cares? But yeah, these are the people that are using this golf course. These are the people that care about it the most. So they're the ones that are going to have to foot the bill for this. Oh, they are footing the bill for it. That's right, champs. $40 per player or $70 per player if you're from the public. Where's this
Okay.
money going?
Well, look, let's just take the $70 per player. So the golf course, the golf course, has a budget this year of $961,000, right? So at $70 per person to play a round of golf, you take that 961 and divide that by 70, and that tells you how many people in 1 year would need to golf at that facility just for us to break even. You know, that's just to break even. So you're talking a lot of people.
How many?
So, well, let's see, 70.
So we got
70.
Shamir on the. Shamir got a calculator. We ain't gonna put your head through that.
I'm not by my computer.
Ah,
My
Going to
bad.
10,000,
Now I gotta go to bed soon.
15,000 people.
15,000. So $1 million could have went to flooding or brown water. Remember, Jock Roy said everything he does is not going to make money. Oh, that is it. He did say that. We are paying for their heaven on earth. So the public pays the taxes and has to pay to play. That's double dipping. You're correct. That is correct. And he knows that black people aren't going to come out there. And we know whose name I'm surprised not to see on here is Jeff Hall. Because I asked Jeff Hall personally, what was he going to do about funding the I literally asked him. Oh, well, you know, there's a lot of people that like to go golfing. And he laughed it off and walked away. Who knew the people that he was protecting? Well, Mr. Porter, were you aware of this, of this gambling thing that they got going on out there? Oh, he disappeared. Damn. So yeah, man. Playing in y'all faces.
He might have to go.
He might.
So the public pays taxes and has to pay to play. That's double dipping. Yeah,
It is. Absolutely. The
So
fact that Holy Savior Menard has 2 baseball fields. Or that looks like a shot put. Yeah, a shot put.
wow. Where's the other one? Those two right there?
Yeah, this is their baseball field. Really nice,
Wow.
isn't it? That's nice. I like the colors. And then there's their shot put field. Then they have tennis courts. All right.
Is
Then they
that
got a football field.
Mhm. Now go to Peabody. Can you go pull up Peabody?
Let's see. If I go up this street, I gotta go all the way to the south side. Hold on. I'm going to the south side. There goes the traffic circle.
Waste of
Home
money.
Depot. We headed back out of town.
Remember that lie they told and gave back all that money to the federal government not to remove that? Talking about it's some wetlands. And all them companies around there closed down. They didn't want to get closed down. And they turned around and got closed down anyway.
Wait a minute. We got another baseball field?
What is that right there? Who's that?
Alexandria Youth Complex? That's another 6 baseball fields. 7 baseball fields.
Wait a minute, where is that?
That's Bringhurst.
Oh, that's where everything gonna be.
Let me see if I'm going up the right street. Yeah, I am. Hold on. Yeah, we way over here. I gotta get over here. Here we go. And here goes Peabody Montessori. Right up the
That's
street
nice.
from that is Peabody. Somewhere in here.
It can't be, Tavares.
Yeah, it is. It's Broadway. It's got to be. Here's the library. Here's the park. Here's Peabody. Peabody's got to be here somewhere. Let me zoom out.
Peabody, no, it needs to be next to a park, across from a park. Because remember, Cheetah Park is directly across.
There we go. I didn't go down the street far enough. Never mind.
Okay,
all right, so here we are at Peabody. What does Peabody have?
They got a baseball field. Is that Cheatham Park? That's Cheatham Park right there.
Park, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a baseball field. We used to have they used to have a swimming pool, but they turned that into a basketball court.
But the swimming pool is inside.
They got a swimming pool inside Peabody?
Yeah, it's inside. It's not outside. It's inside.
Well, the other one used to be outside.
And then that's the track right there. That's the football field and track.
Football field, right.
So if you look at a map, it looks like Cheatham Park is actually inside of it's
right across the street. It's in Peabody's parking lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just no, it's not really, but that's what it looks like.
It is. Yeah, it is. This is the parking lot for Peabody. This is Peabody. This is the parking lot. This is the parking lot. They share the same parking lot.
So my issue is, so why didn't Cheatham Park be brought by? Why didn't Peabody buy Cheatham Park a long time ago? I mean, not Peabody, but the Board of Education, whatever you want to call it, school board. Why didn't they go ahead and buy Cheatham Park?
Why didn't the city just give them Cheatham Park?
Yeah, he could have gave them to, and they give everybody else stuff. So why couldn't they give that to Peabody? Yeah, you they paying for everything else. Everybody, people want to put on this perception that people down in lower areas don't pay nothing. They don't put nothing in. That's the mentality a lot of people
homes
have.
Out here.
But
these
that's
are
not
homes out here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People pay taxes, sales tax, people pay property taxes. So they have a right to have things, but that mentality they have about areas that are what we call marginalized or impoverished, they act like they don't pay no taxes on nothing. Why on the other side gets a whole bunch of not plain welfare, but corporate welfare. Now, I don't care what y'all say. Johnny Downs, Dixie League and all that, they're being tax exempt because if they are nonprofit, sports, they're getting tax exempt status. So what's telling them they can't put something in the pockets of the city when they make it? We should have never let that happen. Well, we weren't around, so we didn't even know that until actually Mr. Porter brought all that to our attention. If we would have known all this time y'all paying for something that you can't even use, that's crazy. That is crazy. That's 1950 type stuff. Because y'all got to remember, back in the 1950s when they was doing Jim Crow, people were working every day. People were paying taxes too. We were working and paying taxes no matter how much we were making. And we still didn't get a chance to use stuff because of Jim Crow and redlining and all that. We still had to pay property taxes. We still had to pay sales tax. We still had to pay for things all the time.
We talk a lot about these highways and how they literally come through our community and just slap highways right through the middle of our communities,
separating our communities.
That's what
that was done. That started back. Oh Lord, back in the day, they started doing that, and that was nationwide. That wasn't just here in Louisiana. That's nationwide. Wherever there is an African American community,
there's always a highway going right through the middle of it.
You're going to always see a highway split them in half every time. A guy was doing a study on that, and he said, if you notice, they always put highways in between Black communities, separating every time.
And it's almost like the way they got it set up is like they got us cornered off.
Well,
they got us put it up against the river, and now They don't even want us to be. This is all District 3, right? They don't even want us to be a part of this. Like I mean, I keep saying they, but you guys know what's going on. I don't really want to go too far into detail, but y'all know what's happening. Y'all see what's happening. Y'all see what's happening. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I know y'all got a lot of decisions to make, and I'm just trying to make y'all aware of the banana in the tailpipe. That's it. I don't want y'all to ever get screwed over the way Jock and the way Jeff and the way Reddix and the way Roosevelt and the way Gary and the way all these people have screwed y'all over. And like Nat said, you need one strong candidate. But
Now, also talk about, okay, I don't know if y'all know this, Nat was mentioning earlier about the ideal that all the seats up for the school board, they all termed out.
They're all termed out. So everybody got to get off the school board.
Yep.
Now, I know that there's going to be a mad rush of colored Negroes want to go jump up there on the school board. But again, if you screw up on the school board choices, right, you got people that aren't any good at anything running up there to make decisions for your children. Man, I hope y'all don't turn that shit into no popularity contest.
Yeah, that's going to be bad for the kids.
Y'all kids is going to suffer.
Yeah.
It's going to be y'all children because you hung out with him, or y'all drinking buddies, or whatever the hell y'all might. He used to sell you dope or whatever it is he used to do with you, and y'all going to make him or put him or her up on the position to make decisions for the children.
Yeah, don't do that.
And on top of everything else, y'all need to look at rescinding. See, everything that can be done can be undone when it comes to contracts. If you just signed a brand new contract with that superintendent, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get an all new school. You know what he's gonna do? He's gonna try to get a school board he can control. That's what he's gonna do. Yeah. He's got a it's a power vacuum. He's about to take full control. Your kids are gonna be over there. They're gonna be by Johnny Downs, all right. Hold on, let me show you where they're gonna be at. Yeah, they're gonna be right by Johnny Downs, right over here at Renaissance.
What a thing to say.
Well, I mean, that's the goal, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he got up with him. That's why him and where's Renaissance at? It's right up the street here. Somewhere over here. Who cares? But y'all get my point. You catch my meaning. All this open land, no wonder they trying to build out there. Boy, they want to make sure don't nobody come out here. What is this? Why I keep turning colors? What is that? Oh, okay. It's a Alexandria. What is this? Alexandria Country Day. Oh, that's Country Day. Oh, look what I found. Pickleball. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. That's a baseball field.
Yep, it used to be a baseball field. Sure
There's
is.
A pickleball court.
Why everybody got everything, but I'll leave that alone.
You don't see no basketball courts over here, do you? What is this right here? Is that a hotel? Is that another pickleball court? No. Man, y'all need to do this over because a lot of these parts of Alexandria we don't never get to go to because we'll get arrested and pulled over. Like they tried to do Mr. Porter and them for going out there to Johnny Downs. You better not bring your ass out here. Let's buy you Rapids back here. Let's see what's over here. about to get out of y'all hair. Yeah, but we just want y'all to recognize that there's other parts of Alexandria that are getting served way better than you ever did. Matter of fact, the reason that they're getting served so well is because you're giving them the money to do it. So, was that the airport? Yeah, that's the airport. It looks like an airport. It might not be. You never know. They might. Oh, it is an airport. They might got some hidden shit that you ain't never seen before. So yeah. But guess what? I don't see any major highways going through the middle of their neighborhoods. Matter of fact, it looks like I-49 curves around the natural landscape of that area. And it just flows it just slides very pretty through, no splitting of neighborhoods, no nothing like that. There's the interchange, right? Everything's all nice and neat. But boy, when you get down here, they're like, it's a bunch of black folks. Let's go ahead and cut through it. That's eminent domain. Yeah. And look, MacArthur Drive came through and did the same thing almost. But we're not going to get into that. All right. Yeah, we've done enough tonight. Hopefully I didn't confuse y'all. Moonbelly Mama Wellness? What is that? Sound like some weird shit. What is this? White Oak Funeral Home. Oh, this is Masonic Drive. Okay, I know where I'm at. Yeah, I don't see what is all this land? What is this? Oh, is this out? No, this ain't outside the city limits. Oh yeah, it is. That's Woodworth. Never mind. I'm all the way out of town. Sorry, guys. Oh man, this is insane. Insane. Oh, there's a traffic circle. Insane. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put a cap on that. Guys, we'll be back Wednesday night. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Thank you, Mr. Porter, for clarity. Thank you, Miss Alita, for whatever. Thank you, Mr. Turner, Miss Honore, Miss Bell for joining us, Miss Moran, the real Karen came through, Miss Latasha came through, Kathy Powell, Kathy Powell, where she been at? All right, well, good to see you. Miss Jackson was here. Miss Finley's always here. And Miss Linda was here, and Miss Adrian was here. Yeah, thank you all. Thank you, Miss Battles was here. Yeah, appreciate you all for stopping by. Make sure you share this out, and we'll get more into this Wednesday show. It was something else. Oh, I know what it was. If I found out any one of you colored mother was over there at that damn Louisiana oil and gas industry is keeping watch on the stalemate over the Strait of Hormuz. I'm reading headlines right now. I'm sorry. Oh, man, a massive $10 billion lawsuit in the Kendrick Johnson death case. Is expanding to include the judges, the court, and basically the whole justice system. Well, now, go get it. If I find out any of y'all ended up, hold on. A Rio Fleming. Oh, I know what it was because I looked up that damn Johnny Downs. Now all of a sudden I got all these people that are doing come and get this work. Phil, it's got to be a black guy. Yeah, it's got to be a black guy. I knew it was a black guy. Yeah, so yeah, he found him a nice little niche, $40 per kid. So he does training. All right. Smart thing. Stop. All right. But anyway, yeah, if I find out any one of y'all went to that $250 crawfish meet with Jock, I'm going to expose you on this show. I promise you I will. Stay from over there.
Wait a minute. What did you say?
I said if I find out any one of y'all colored people, if I find out any one of you coloreds ended up over there at Jock Roy's $250 crawfish bowl, I'm gonna put you on blast. I promise.
Mr. Porter, are you out of town?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Ah. Gary,
When you
Gary,
said it.
Gary, Gary, I know you're gonna be there, Gary. Don't do it. Gary, listen, sit this one out. Because it's already bad enough you got a cosign from him. He already endorsing you and y'all running mates and shit. Don't show up to that. Bro, listen. Don't do it. Don't do it, Gary. The
Don't
people
leave Gary
drag
out.
you- they're
Don't
gonna
leave
drag
Gary
you
out. I mean,
around
don't
this.
just say Gary. Don't you dare just say Gary. Come on now.
I feel like Gary would be the main one that would show up. Like that's the one black person I would expect to see there. I expect Sterling. I expect Sterling Brown to be there. Let me think. Who else? It's a $250 minimum, whether you come with somebody or by yourself. And I want to make sure that we keeping track of this. Why? Because the campaign finance reports. He's campaigning.
Yeah.
So we want to keep an eye and make sure that everything's above board, Jock. Because if it's not, Jock, I don't give a damn how many people you got working for you or work with you over there at the board of ethics board for the state. I don't care. I don't care how many K. Miguel steps down and putting their friends up there just to get past. Never mind. I'm gonna leave that alone.
You're not. You can't be doing that.
Sure, you can. If they can, I can. It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. That's crazy.
You can't be doing.
Anyway, I appreciate everybody. Mr. Porter, you got any parting words?
No, I think it's great that you guys go over the budget in the detail that you do because you're the only ones that's really doing it. And Ms. Finley, I really appreciate your input to all of that. So we're really, making people much more knowledgeable on what's happening to their money, and that's a very good thing. So, one last thing, everybody, check your voter registration status. Make sure you're not one of the 500,000 that's been purged or declared inactive. You have until April 15th to re-register in person or by mail. So check it and check for the folks that's in your family. And all you need to know is their first name, last name, the zip code that they registered under, and the month and the year they were born. And if they're your relatives, you should be able to check everybody. And if they're not registered or if they're inactive, get them re-registered, and so that they can vote.
Mr. Porter, do you know where Wycliffe Way is?
Wycliffe? No, I don't.
Do you know where the Wycliffe Park green space is?
I don't know that either. No.
I'm looking at these houses. Every house in this neighborhood has a swimming pool. Every house. Every house has a swimming pool.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that area.
Every house has a swimming pool. Where are we at? Where is this at? It's in Alexandria. Huh. Did we just, it's over here by Compton Park. It's over Wimbledon, Windermere, Wycliffe Green Space is off of Windermere.
Oh, okay. So that's that new subdivision. Oh, okay. If it's what I think it is, that was the subdivision that was hiring the off-duty APD officers to patrol their area. That would be a brand new subdivision.
Hold on, I
from
found it. Here it
Coliseum
goes.
Drive or Highway 28 down to Twin Bridges Road.
So, oh, it's right across the street from Menard. I was trying to figure out why the hell everybody got swimming pools. Hold on. Let me do the satellite. I was trying to figure out where is this at? Everybody's got swimming pools. That guy's got a swimming pool. These people got a swimming pool. That guy has a swimming pool. These people have a swimming pool. There's a swimming pool. There's a swimming pool. There's a swimming pool. Here's a swimming pool. Every house, there's a swimming pool. There's a swimming pool. There's a swimming pool. Everybody's got a swimming pool. There's a swimming pool. There's a swimming. What the hell? We got people living like this out here in Alexandria. Oh man, damn. No wonder they don't want nothing to do with us on when you cross MacArthur. When you cross MacArthur, they done. That's it. And this must be off Jackson Street, huh? Yeah, this is off Jackson. Damn, everybody in the neighborhood got a swimming pool. I'm just saying, folks. It's the tale of two Alexandrias. Jonathan Goins used to be a stand-up person, but that's when he was telling the story about the tale of two Alexandrias, but he doesn't want to talk about that no more. So guess he made it out the hood, huh? I guess he did. Oh, it's in Charles Park. Yeah, well, what do you know? Hopefully those people feel like how they're being treated is fair, and I hope they're happy with their life. Now, I don't have anything bad to say about them. But on that note, folks, you know what we're about to do. We're about to get out of here. About to let everybody go. I'm about to go watch wrestling. And I want to thank everybody for joining us. And don't forget, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we typically do this thing here. But there may be times where we have to change the schedule. We don't know about Friday night show, so we'll try to do a Thursday night show instead. So thank y'all again for joining us on the Can We Be Frank show. Another one in the books. I think we're on like season 67 and episode 1,000,000,005, and we'll be back for 1,000,000,006. So thank you guys again. Thank you, Mr. Porter. Thank you, Mom. We got it here.